In this short video, I'm going to be talking about how to calculate your investable income. Now, there's a lot of conversation out there about investment and why everybody should get into investing. There's not a lot of comment out there telling you exactly how much to invest. So, if you're one of those people who have always been interested in investing but don't know how much you can consistently invest, without affecting your day-to-day life, then this video is for you. Also watch to the end because in the end you're gonna see whether or not you have an investable income. Because yes, it is possible to not have an investable income. And without wasting any more time, let's get right into it. Hi, my name is Beth and I make content about career, finance and side hustles. If you're interested in this kind of content, please subscribe to my channel, and if you do end up enjoying this video, please give it a like. So this video is going to be very practical. I just want us to get straight to how to calculate your investable income. Now, investable income is the money that you are able to invest without affecting your lifestyle consistently. Because I always tell people that the power of investment is in compound interest. So when you're looking at an investment, don't look at something you can do one off. Look at something that you can do consistently, even if it's in bits, but consistently. Because most investors who become millionaires did not become millionaires by investing 100 million at once. They became millionaires by investing a little money, $1,000, $2,000 here and there, and then the compounding effect came upon it, and it became what it became with time. So in this video, we're gonna basically just calculate how you're gonna find your investable income. Now I'm gonna be doing something. I'm gonna be focusing on a country like Nigeria. This also applies to other low income countries, countries where people make a lot of make little money. Because I want to be as practical and as realistic as possible. So in this video, we're gonna be using a case study of someone who makes $150 per month, which is approximately 200,000 naira. And yes, it's very common for people to make that amount of money. The common method that everybody talks about is that you spend 60% of your income, you save 20%, and then you invest 20%. And that is going to work in if you make a lot of money to cover your bills. But 60% of 200,000 naira or 150 dollars in Nigeria is just about 120,000 naira, which is not enough to cater for a family of two even a month. Even a family of one, if you live alone, if you live alone, I can survive on that, and there are many people who can survive on that as well. But if you're gonna like really manage, 120,000 naira can do something for you. Now imagine making 200,000 naira a month and then having to save 20% of that and then only having to spend 60% of that. That's 120,000. And then you're left with 80,000, which is going to be split into 40,000 in investment and 40,000 in savings. Now, before you get to 15th of the month, you're going to go clear out your savings because 120,000 is not going to do anything for you. So I don't really believe in that. I believe that before you first know your investable income, you should first know your okay money. Your okay money is the money that you can survive on. Basically, no luxuries, no new phone, no new wristwatch, nothing fancy, just to survive. Like rent and utilities and uh, food, just basic stuff that you need to survive. Basically, when you know the exact amount that you need to survive on, then you can begin to calculate your investable income. Now, how you're going to do that is the example we're using this video is for someone who makes 200,000 naira a month. So let's say your rent is 500,000. With 500,000, you're not going to be able to pay 500,000 at once on that kind of salary. So you're going to have to put aside a monthly deposit. So let's say you're going to have to put aside, let's say 30 Let's say 50,000, but it's not realistic for someone who makes 200,000 to put aside 50,000. But when you think about the amount of rent you're gonna pay at the end of the year, even at 50,000, you only have 600,000, which is just like paying your rent and probably paying for electricity or water or sanitation if you do pay for those things. So I'm just gonna so it just doesn't really make sense. You're already at a deficit because if you put aside 50,000 every month on rent and you put aside 50,000 every month on feeding, which is not really realistic because I don't know, people can really survive on 50,000 naira to feed in a month. But let's say for some instance you're able to do that, maybe you eat once a day, or maybe you farm your own products. I don't know. Let's just assume, right? So that is 100,000 gone already, and you're left with 100,000. Now, how can you save or invest from 100,000 when you've not covered your electricity, you've not covered your data, you've not covered your airtime, you've not covered your transportation to work? Because most of these jobs are not remote, so you have to commute to work every day, sometimes for 5 to 6 times a week, depending on how many days you go to the office. And I'm gonna have to cover that. And if you live in a city where you're likely to make 200,000, your transportation is gonna cost you another 50,000. Now that is 150,000 gone already. Now, how do you expect someone who makes 200,000 and spends 150,000 plus to invest? He's barely surviving as it goes on. And if he does eventually invest, they're the kind of people that go and break their investments halfway. You don't allow your investments to compound because you're always in need of the money that you invested. Now, investable income should not be money that you cannot let go of. It's going to like defeat the whole aim of investing, right? So when you realize the money that you need to survive on, then whatever is left, you divide it by two. 50% for savings and 50% for investment. Don't worry how small the money is. The entire point is for you to be investing consistently. Now, if you do your calculation and you see that the money that you make is not even enough to cover your living expenses, you are in a case of danger, financial danger, as I always say. You do not have investable income. Every adult should have investable income. So when you don't have investable income, you know that you're already in trouble. So what you're gonna have to do right now is to start a side hustle as soon as possible. Now this video is just to talk about how to calculate your investable income, which I hope I've been able to teach you how to do. So maybe in the next video, I'm gonna tell you about how to start a side hustle when you work a 9 to 5. If you're interested in that kind of video, then subscribe and stay tuned. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.